Hello. So today we're talking about worthiness,
Yes.
feeling worthy, dropping into worthiness, living in worthiness,
Yes.
all the good things. So we're gonna give a couple minutes for people to join in. Let me know if you can hear, and this will also be on YouTube. We're also gonna put this
Yes.
on YouTube as well. I'm excited. I'm excited. Do we want to start basically by like just kind of saying who we are?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that those that are on live are like, they know who I am. But do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Talk a little bit about what you do.
Sure. Hey everyone, my name is Aria The Vocalist. I'm Aria The Vocalist on Instagram. But I met the lovely Nina Elaine actually at a Vibe Tribe gathering that just happened recently. We met for the second time, sorry.
Yeah.
But I really met her this time. I didn't really get to talk to her the first time when I met you in May, right?
Yeah.
So I have a song called Worthy, and we just started really vibing together, and I realized that she's a worthiness coach, so it just was a perfect opportunity for us to kind of collaborate and talk. And we went to lunch this week earlier, and we just really were vibing, and we decided to come and do this today for you guys to have, hear us talk about worthiness.
Yes.
Yeah. So hello.
Yes. And for me, I mean, yes, I'm a worthiness coach, just in general, a transformational life coach. I also have a financial advising practice. A lot of you already know this. And a lot of the things that I talk about are worthiness, boundaries, dropping into your divine femininity, receiving, deepening your receivership. So all kinds of like really juicy topics that we can get into today. And I'm really, really excited. It's been like a week of receiving for me, like a very, very, very deep receivership for me this week. Even this like collaboration, connection, like even receiving that and being open to that.
Yes.
There's been a lot of that this week. So I'm like really excited to dive into this topic. I don't know the questions that she's gonna ask, and like we'll both talk about it, we'll both chit chat about it, but I don't know what the questions are. So we're gonna flow.
Yeah.
And then see what happens, what comes up. So yeah, are we at 40? Perfect.
Yeah, we want to welcome everyone joining. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Really excited to just share the topic of worthiness and what it means to both of us.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
Also, if you guys can talk online as well about what worthiness means to you, if you're able, that'd be awesome.
Yes. All right. Let's jump in. Let's dive in.
Cool. So my first question for you is, how do you feel worthy in your life?
That's a huge question. Like that's a place to start. How do I feel worthy? Oh, that's hard to answer because I guess I can think of it from different perspectives. One of them is just taking care of myself. Like taking care of yourself is the easiest way to like just live in and remind yourself of worthiness. So like the way that I think, the thoughts that I think, the things that I eat, the conversations I'm a part of, the things that I choose to entertain, not entertain, how prepared I am for my day and my life every single day. Like all of those I think contribute to my feeling of worthiness. It's like I am so worthy that I get to come to life prepared. I get to have the best foods. I get to have the clothes that I really feel good in. I get to have these things because I'm worthy of them. So it's really every detail. Like I'm very detailed in just about everything that I do, and the intention behind it all. I think that it comes down to intention for me, because the intentionality that you put behind everything you do in life, it shows, and it ripples out into your reality. People notice it, and you feel just more you when you're able to do things that genuinely resonate with your soul and make you feel worthy. That's what I think it is. Like things that genuinely resonate with you make you feel more worthy.
That's right. Because
you're worthy enough to have what you actually want versus just what everybody else wants or what people want for you. But like, no, like I'm worthy enough to have what resonates with me. And that's different for different people. For me, I love like fashion and beauty and those things. And so every day I'm pretty much dressed up every single day, and I'm doing life, in a ruffled dress and heels, because that makes me feel worthy. I feel worthy to show up in spaces and take up space and not feel weird because of it.
Right.
So how is a big question, but I think it's just in the details, like all the little things, in the little rituals and the details, in the moments of my day that I take to sit with spirit, sit with myself, and really just remember. It could be a breath in between two meetings, like I did earlier today, that helps you to just recenter and ground and remind yourself that you're worthy of having a full schedule, of having a schedule full of things that you love to do. Because even that can be overwhelming. Like doing what you love to do can be overwhelming. So feeling like, no, I get to take a break. I get to take a break if I want to for a minute in between this. And I'm worthy of that. So all the little practices that I do on a daily basis, I think remind me just how worthy I am every single day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. It's such a practice, right? You have to practice it, because I think for me, when I wrote my song, by the way, I have a song called Worthy. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I think I did at the beginning. But for me, I wrote that song as an affirmation for myself, because I was at a point in my life earlier this year. I just moved to Arizona. I went through a tough breakup. I was with someone for 4 years, and leaving my home of California, leaving my family, just traveling here by myself with my son and our dog and our cat. Like, that was it, you know. But I've been to Arizona plenty of times, so it wasn't like it was a foreign place. It's just I chose this for healing. I chose this place to heal, right? And so I literally sat down, listened to this instrumental by Culture Cat, by the way. That's the producer of the song. And I just recorded it from start to finish, like off the top of my head. And it was all for worthiness, and it was all about being worthy. And I'm like, wow. And it really felt like it was God channeling through me to just send me this message that you're worthy of all the good things in life and all your dreams coming true, and your reality that you deeply desire inside, right? And I think we really get off track in life sometimes when we're struggling and we're in struggle mode, and like that's hard to feel worthy there, right? It's like, how do we get to this plateau of like, yes, finally I'm worthy, you know? And I think it's just different for everyone. And for me, it's still a daily practice every day. I'm like constantly reminding myself, constantly listening to my own song to remind myself I'm worthy, and to say, hey, even when I get like a negative thought, or if I think a lower vibrational thought about myself, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm worthy. Like, I interrupt that, and I'm like, no, that's a lie. Like, get out of there, you know? And I have to kick it out of my headspace, literally.
Yes.
Like, you got to kick that lower vibe stuff out of your, you know, in reality. Yeah. Right?
Oh my gosh, that's like in perfect alignment with something that came through for me yesterday that I wanted to touch on in this live stream. So I'm glad you said that, because the phrase was, and I'm going to try to say it like verbatim of how it came through, kicking out was part of it. Kicking things off kicking things and people off of your timeline. That was the phrase. And it came through as that, and then R.I.P. came through. Like, so it was like this rest in peace energy. It was crazy.
Wow. Well, sometimes that's what you gotta do.
And that was it was kicking it, like, it's in my journal. I'll have to like send you a picture of it later. But I literally wrote down last night, kicking people off of your timeline.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know, there's just certain people, energies, places, situations, just things that are on your timeline or in your energy and your frequency that are just hanging on, like holding on to you, and you have to literally like kick them off your timeline. And I think saying kicking off, like you said, that same exact phrase is important to note, because it takes action. It's not like you're just passively hoping that they will go. No, you're like, get off of me, like you're done, like you're out of this timeline, like you're kicked out, you're exiled, like you're not coming back kind of energy. It takes intention to do that. To get things off of your timeline when you know where you're going and you know that they're not in alignment. So that was actually really eerie that you said that, especially because you used the words kicked off, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you a picture of it. That's exactly, I'm pretty sure that's exact words that I used. And I wrote that last night, and that's what kind of fueled what I said earlier that I wanted to say in this particular live, that I had a topic that I wanted to touch on, and that was it, was kicking things, people, anything unaligned off of your timeline.
Wow. Wow, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I mean, because that's what it takes sometimes, and that's like, you know, it's maintenance. It's spiritual maintenance. It's maintenance for your well-being and your mind and your soul. And you know, when you come across experiences that are not high vibrational and are not good for you, you can notice it and say, hey, this is not for me. This thought I'm thinking is not good for me. It's because thoughts are seeds, like, right? And on the way here, I was thinking how that saying goes, be careful what you think, you know, your thoughts become your words. Be careful what your words, the words become your actions. I'm not saying it verbatim, but I think that it's just really important to take observation of yourself and those around you, and who resonates with you and who doesn't, and you know, go in the direction that leads you to your highest version of yourself and the best version of yourself, and those around you that are helping you become that. Like Nina, for me, I mean, I'm like, I was super intrigued by you, right? I'm like, and she also does music, by the way. She has a music video called Levitate. So I was just like, wow, like this beautiful woman, like, you know, and I'm getting to know new people now, and I'm getting to vibe with people that are teaching me, and I'm reflecting the same. Like, it's a reflection thing. And when you find people that are actually wanting to be well within their self and heal and be that best version, you're around that, it's contagious, right? So you have to surround yourself with people that actually help you to become your best self, right? And it's like we're all students and teachers, right? So we all have something to learn from one another. We all have something to teach one another. And that's what's really important, is offering your gems of wisdom, like what we're doing here. Like offering these little gems of wisdom for ourselves and others watching. Like, you know, because it's important that us as women work together and collaborate and like help one another rise up, right? There's no competition here. I see just a beautiful woman that is an amazing soul, that has talent and, you know, things I can learn from her, and I feel like we can work together, vice versa, you know, and it's a collaborative effort. It's to help both of us, right? And to help you guys out there watching. So
that's so good. Love it. Such a good question.
So okay, what does worthiness mean to you?
Ooh, I've never actually thought about that. Like,
right?
What does worthiness mean to me? What does worthiness mean to me? Worthiness means remembering your godhood, your goddesshood. Remembering, because worthiness is innate. So remembering that reflection, that drop of God source energy that represents who you are. Remembering that you're more than this body, you're more than the adornments and all that. You're more than that. You're more than your thoughts, you're more than your nervous system, you're more than all of these things. So remembering that nothing can take away from it, and nothing can really like add to it. Just is. You just are worthy. Just by default, by you existing, by birth, you just are worthy. So I liked what you were saying when we were at lunch. You said you're worthy even when you don't feel your best. You're still worthy. When your thyroid is acting up, you're still worthy, because we both can understand thyroid issues. So anybody out there struggling, we get it. Like, it's tough. You know, you have to really go back to what you said about taking care of yourself. You're worthy of that. And that's huge, because we're both on the journey starting with Purium. And Purium is all about being worthy of good health, like your optimal health, like your best possible health you can be in. And a lot of the times we don't put our health first. We don't put our physical health first, our mental health first in this society. Like, we put it in the back seat, and we're putting our job first. We're putting our kids first. We're putting school first. We're putting paying bills first, whatever, you know, instead of us. Like, we're worthy to be first in our own life. We're the ones in this body having to live every day, right? Like, going about our business. It's like, if you're not checking in with yourself and saying, hey, I'm worthy to feel good today. I'm worthy to not feel sick. I'm worthy to not feel depressed. I'm worthy to not feel angry. Those are poisonous emotions, right? They bring you up, they bring you down. So it's like checking back in and saying, hey, I'm worthy right now in this moment
to change my vibration and feel better and feel on a higher plateau and just feel like, you know, connected to all the good things in life, connected to the birds and the trees and the sky, and just the, you know how nature is so natural, there's no force. I love to be reminded of a beautiful sunset, of a beautiful sunrise, and say, I'm no different than that. Like, I'm a part of that. We're a part of this whole world. We're a part of everything, right? So you have to realize, like, you're worthy of all the love in the world. Like, you're worthy of everything good coming your way. And when you start to believe that, I'm a testament to it. I'm beginning to, you know, really open up to this. I'm beginning to really embody my song Worthy, like, and be that. And believe the words I spoke to myself, because it was a song for me, like, to straight up rewire those beliefs and really say, you know what? F everything else that is telling me lies in my head, and I'm gonna believe I'm worthy, and I'm going to live that. Speak it, be it, see it, and it's all around me, right? So that's what's powerful. Our words are powerful, man. What we say, what we sing, what we speak, what we think, it's all connected in our body, in our soul, right? So we have to really practice what we want to see in our lives. And if we don't like the reality we're in, we can shift it. We can change it with our thoughts, with our words, how we talk to ourselves. It starts with us, man. It starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with you. You know, it's like an individual journey, but the more that we become our worthiest self, I don't know if that's word, worthiest.
We'll make it one today. I think it is.
Right?
I'm pretty sure it is. But
okay. The more we really become the highest version of ourselves, like, we help the whole planet, because we're embodying the highest version. That's infectious. That's contagious, right? People will see the light in you and want to know, like, wow. Like with Krishan, I mean, when I saw her journey with Purium, and I'm like, whoa, like, now she's a beautiful woman too. Like, she, back in May, I met her and she was just a little curvier, but she was beautiful then, right? But now, like, she's been on this health journey, and it's amazing the results from her discipline and her worthiness with that she's put in herself. And it makes me want to join. I want to be a part of that. I want to transform too. I'm still working on me every day, you know, and I think that's the thing. It's a constant journey in life. Like, we're always continuing the worthy journey with ourselves, and it's us with us, like, day in and day out. You know,
you touch on so many good things. Something as you were talking that came up was a process that I like to call anchoring. I don't know if anyone else uses this term.
Yes.
But I love to anchor things into the reality or the timeline that you want to see in your
Anchoring.
life.
That's powerful.
And music is a great way to anchor in a certain vibration, energy. You can really bring things in really quickly with music. So I wanted to offer that as well for those that are watching live or the replay, to start anchoring in whatever it is that you're desiring through music. So I was in a meeting actually earlier this week. I was at a talk that a leader in my financial advising company was doing, and he said something that was really interesting, and I might butcher it, but I want to share it because you'll get the message. He said, and this is not related to financial advising, by the way, it's just an analogy. He said he heard someone say music, the song, like the actual instruments, the music part of it, makes you feel feelings.
Yes.
The lyrics makes you think thoughts. But the song makes you feel your thoughts.
Ooh.
And the reason why I'm sharing this is I wrote it down, it was so powerful.
Ooh.
The reason why I'm sharing that is because music is something that we both share and love. But as a part of anchoring in what it is that you would like for your reality, take music, if you're a music lover like we are, and use that to feel your thoughts, the thoughts you want to feel. So you're kind of reverse engineering it, where you're using music that represents the thoughts you want to feel, and then you're replaying that in the background of your life as you're living your life, reminding you of that reality that you want to bring in. And because music touches the feeling body, the heart, the emotions, and then the words touch the mind, when you combine all of those, and then you're playing that with all of your other things you're doing in your life to remind yourself of worthiness, you will bring in whatever it is, I promise you, so quickly. In the past week, I've lost count at this point. I need to literally journal tonight of how many things in this past week that I've called in just by this method. Like, anchoring. Wow. Before like an hour ago, before we were here, I just made a huge sale in my financial advising practice that I didn't even realize was as big as it was till I did the numbers. Wow. And I had called it in last night, and I made more than the number I wrote down in 30 minutes. I just closed on a new place to live 2 days ago. Like, life is just moving so beautifully. This week has been crazy, but it just goes to show, like, this is real. Like, really feeling worthy and deserving of what it is that you know is for you. I asked Spirit for certain things this week, and I'm just getting them back to back to back. That's amazing. Through this anchoring method. So this is something that I love to share. Anchoring is like a topic that I talk about a lot in like my work, but that phrase, that quote about the music really ties it all into a nice little bow, into a nice little package that I wanted to offer for those listening and watching to use in your own life as a practice.
That's wonderful. Wow. Really, congratulations. That's beautiful. That's amazing.
It's been
and that should attest to like how it is so possible to bring in anything that you really desire, you know, like within. And it's like worthiness is an inside job. You know, you got to start inside of you and really work on you. And that's kind of my journey, has been just doing this real deep inner healing work from childhood to adulthood, like just really going back into myself. And I've had moments of healing the little girl that wanted attention that didn't get attention, you know, the little girl that's like, I'm still in there, you know. And you have to like tap into your inner child and remember, like, we're adults now, but we were babies at one point. We were infants, we were toddlers, you know, like we were curious about everything, and everything was such an amazing experience. Like, and that's what we have to tap back into in our reality and look at it as, wow, this is an opportunity. I'm alive, first of all. That's a blessing. Like, I'm here on earth. I have a purpose. Like, there's so many things that even in the bathroom in this building, it was saying, you know, if you feel down, do this, do that, do yoga, do some breath work, like journal for 15 minutes. I mean, there's so many things we can do to kind of tap back in to our worthiness, right? If we're feeling out of alignment, if we're feeling far away from ourselves, we can always bring it back to ourselves if we just take that moment, like you were saying, in between meetings, taking your worthy moment, right? Because you're worthy of a break, you're worthy of rest, you're worthy of good sleep, good food, good health, you know. And I think like we in this society, it's everybody focuses a lot on the outside, right? And we're being worthy of material things, which is a wonderful thing too. Like, we need that, right? To get by in life, you need money. I mean, to get by, you need a car, right? You need those things. But we're worthy of more than material. We're worthy of the spiritual transformation that can happen inside of you, right? And being your happiest, glowing, most vibrant, most beautiful, worthy self. That's like what it's about, you know?
As you were saying that, what came up for me is even feeling worthy to what I like to call traverse between the worlds. So feeling worthy enough for me, I think a big part of my worthiness journey and a big upgrade in it happened when I started my financial advising practice, because there was a little part of me that didn't feel worthy enough to call myself a spiritual person while being in a traditional environment, if that makes sense. Where, yes, it's still my own business, but it's, you know, part of a company, and it's this different world that's not spiritual at all. And so to feel worthy that I can have my business, my coaching business, that is totally woo-woo and so spiritual, and then to have my very grounded and very practical side as well be honored through my financial advising practice, and to merge the worlds. There was a point in my journey a few years ago where I felt this split within myself. I felt like two different people warring with each other, because there was one side of me that was like, let's say the dark and the light. There was one side of me that wanted one thing, and then there was another side of me that wanted another thing, and they just could not see eye to eye. And so I had to do work on my sacral, that 2 energy, and my womb to really merge the 2 together, the 2 sides of me. And that was when I actually healed that, is when I started in my financial advising practice, when I actually started to be both. Be that practical goddess and be that spiritual, you know, goddess as well, and do both of them and flawlessly merge the 2 worlds. Not a lot of people realize they can do that. That's why you don't see a lot of people doing it. But the mastery of both sides of things has really helped me to be a better coach, be a better sister, mother, or not mother, but, well, Spirit, what's going on?
Day.
What's happening here, Spirit? What was that?
Well, even if you know what, that's
well,
funny,
spiritual mother. I mean, I
still be
birthed
a
so
mother,
much,
right?
Exactly. But it's just funny, that was a Freudian slip. So like that's really funny, Freudian slip. But mother, truly, like spiritual mother. But also, you know, sister, friend, mentor, coach, mentee, student, teacher, all the things. I'm better at all the things because of it. But yeah, that's funny. That was such a Freudian slip. I love that.
Wow,
I'm gonna watch this back.
One day.
When I am a mother, I'm gonna watch this back and be like, that was when it happened. That was when it came in.
Right. We got it recorded.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I have another question for you. How do you sustain a worthy lifestyle?
Ooh, that's
because all the things you just mentioned, like being, you know, sister, friend, a financial advisor, spiritual guru, like how do you sustain the worthiness? Because it's like, do you feel sometimes you go up and down and then you have to kind of center yourself again?
Yes, definitely. Every day.
I mean, if thyroid, that'll do it.
I don't think there's a day that goes by where I don't feel the normal ups and downs of life. You know what I mean? Like, I've had such a beautiful day today. It's been an amazing day, but in between 2 of my meetings earlier, I sat and I did breath work for 5 minutes because I felt my energy start to go low because that meeting took some of my energy from me. So naturally, just by existing, you're going to have dips and highs and lows in your energy. Even if it's the best day ever, you're still going to feel that lull, that low valley of energy at some point. And maybe nothing bad happened, but everything takes energy. This is taking energy, right? Time and energy. So absolutely. And the practices, your practices are always going to be what keeps you in the state of being you need to be in to live the life you want to live. So there's something I say all the time in my coaching practice. So if you've ever worked with me or even like taken a training, you know this already because I preach it. It's from Atomic Habits, and he says your life, let me make sure I say it right, hold on, because I don't want to switch it up. He says you're only as good as the level of systems that you have. So basically your life will drop to the level of systems that you have in place. So if you have no systems in place in your life, then it's going to be chaos. It's going to just go rock bottom. But if you have systems in place, meaning to take care of your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your well-being, so if you have an exercise, food routine, sleep routine, a way you do your work, if you have a schedule, routine, practices, you're going to fall on your worst day to the level of those systems. So depending on how well oiled that machine is for you, your level could be up here and then someone else's level could be down here, or vice versa, where your systems just save you from rock bottom, but their rock bottom, or your ceiling is their floor. So when you think of it that way, like, where do you want your ceiling to be and where do you want your floor to be? If your floor is rock bottom, then you have no systems. Your floor should never be rock bottom. Your floor should be someone else's best day. And you should consistently be trying to do better every single day. So on your worst day, it should be better than most people's best day if you want to consider yourself excellent at whatever you do. And that's my personal philosophy around life. And every day won't be that day, but your worst day should be better than most people's best day. And I say most people mean the average of, you know, people in society. So build your life, build your systems that support you so that when you do fall, which inevitably will happen, that you're cushioned by your systems.
Wow. That's super powerful. I just learned from that. I just needed that. Actually, that was a very eye-opening way to explain that, because I think we all, but you don't, there's so many ways to look at life and your own life, right? And then when you have like a backup plan to where when you are having a low day, how are you going to pick yourself back up? How are you going to help yourself, right? To come back to worthiness. And So that's really, I love that. I love that. Now that's got me thinking.
Well, I shared some of mine with you, some of my systems with you, and we were talking about just thyroid dysregulation.
Yeah.
I am not in the habit of saying I have anything that I don't want to keep. So I don't say I have thyroid issues, because I don't. My thyroid is fine, especially now that I have my systems down. But when it wasn't, I created systems. I looked at the things that I did and said which ones made me feel better, even by 1%, when my thyroid was dysregulated, whether it was stress from traveling or whatever the stress came from. And I started to document all the practices I did that helped me feel just a little bit better. And then I started doing them every single day consistently. And then I stopped having those issues. And then if the issues somehow were to come up, I would then double down on whatever it was that day that I felt was the thing that I really needed intuitively. But I was still doing all the other things. So I created a system to help regulate my thyroid. And so now it's not something that is a part of my life. Once in a blue moon, it'll come in, especially if I'm traveling, and I already armor myself with the things that I need, like my LifeWave patches and all the different things that I do to make sure that I'm good, because really it's stress that'll trigger it. And I've learned what are the things that stress me out, what are the things I've got to avoid, what are the things that I'm not available for. That's another thing of kicking things off your timeline. What am I no longer available for? That's a question you should ask yourself at least once a month, if not more.
Wow, that's amazing. So helpful. Such helpful tips, right, you guys? Like, it's just good to have. Like, it's really good to just, I feel like I benefit just from like talking with you, because it's another perspective outside of my own. And the way you're wording it is something I've never thought of, or I've never worded it in that way, or looked at it in that systematic way of breaking it down. And like that, I take that and it's like, wow, okay, I just learned something. I just really developed a new skill because I'm learning from you, right? So that's what's so good about working with other people, learning from other people, hearing other people's stories and being open, right? And I think that something as women, we don't need to feel inadequate around other beautiful women or other worthy women, or anybody that has, maybe they have a skill set that you haven't developed yet, or something that you don't feel you have, but you don't have to compare your worthiness to anyone else. Like, we're all worthy, right? We're just on different levels, and we're all just trying to kick out certain devils, right?
I love that.
So you just have to look at it as a learning experience and take gems of wisdom from people, like with Nina right here. So I have one more question. You pretty much kind of answered it just now, but I was going to ask, how do you handle feeling unworthy at times? And you already pretty much answered that, because your systems are in place, right?
Yes. Well, let's see if there's anything. There might be something else that comes up as you say it. Can you ask it one more time?
Sure. So how do you handle feeling unworthy at times? In those moments? Which I had a couple moments today, and I had to check back in, and I knew I was tired, right? I knew I needed to eat.
Yes.
I knew I needed to hydrate. Yes. So I did all those things. And sometimes you have to understand too your rhythm with your body, and being a woman, when your moon cycle is coming, you might feel emotions that are heavier and more dense, and you might just have to process that. But anyway, that's just what I was feeling.
Yeah, I love that. I actually had a moment earlier where I was having a conversation. I was actually on the phone with my mom, and she's like, how are you? And I said, you know what, actually I'm getting hangry. So I think I'm going to stop and get some food.
Yeah, right.
So I don't get hangry. So it's just that awareness of knowing that you feel off and right. And if I wasn't aware of myself, I would think that it was something else. And then everything around me would irritate me, and I wouldn't know why. And then now I have a reason. Oh, that person cut me off. Now that's why I'm upset.
Right.
But really, I just needed to eat. I just needed to get something to eat, and I was fine.
Yeah.
So having that awareness. But I would say definitely the systems, always that. But I would also say talking to people, getting outside. Like, that's one of my favorite things that I realize. So I am in one of the most difficult industries that there is in advising. And I mean, most people, I can't remember the percentage, quit. It's not something that is easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very difficult thing, is how it's presented. And that's true. It does take a lot of energy. It takes a lot of different skill sets that most people haven't developed at the same time in their being, in their embodiment. So it stretches you. And in those moments where I feel unworthy, because it does happen, because it is, like I said, a very difficult path.
Yeah.
I make sure to get outside and I make sure to get around other people.
Yeah.
So for me, that's very important because I'm a projector and I don't produce energy myself. So I bounce off of the energy of other people. And if I have no one to bounce off of, then it becomes like this downward spiral thing.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have my systems to cushion me so I don't hit rock bottom. But I realized through this journey of knowing I'm a projector, which has been about almost 5 years now, that I need to be around people when I feel that. Because when I am actually giving and serving like I'm doing right now, it reminds me of my worthiness.
Yes.
Because that's information that's just sitting in my body.
Yeah.
Until you ask the question, that brings me alive. That wakes me up.
Right.
So I am someone that needs that.
Okay.
And I realized that over the years. So when I feel that, I immediately get outside. I call a friend. I call my mentor. I go for a lunch, something like that, to remind myself of my worthiness.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully that can help someone that may also be a projector or just resonates with it.
Yes.
That's something that personally that I need. I know the sun is starting
it's starting to hit
it's
you
moving.
guys.
It's moving.
It's hitting us.
But it's good timing.
I know. So this was